Evening.
The time is now 6:30. I'm going to call to order the regular board meeting of the Jasper Hospital District, District 22nd day of January 2019. Let the record show that we have President Chris Thomas, Judge Kennedy, Dr. McGregor, Reverend Horton, Ace Matthews, Deborah Harris, Dr. Jordan, Mike Radcliffe, Kenneth Brooks. We have to have a forum. Also want to know that we got our board/attorney, Dr. Jackson, and the president, and also hospital administrator, Monty Moore. At this time, Reverend Horton, please.
May we bow our head. Dear Lord, we thank you, thank you, thank you for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. Direct our efforts, and may we make the right decision in your name. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we have our time reserved for public comment. We didn't have anyone sign up. So we'll move on to the next item, number 4.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to protest the form of public comment. It is not in the interest of the community in that it does not allow them to make comments on anything in the statement. The meeting, the comment section has always been at the end of the meeting, and it is now at the first of the meeting, and they have to sign it. That's like saying we do not have public comment. The law does not require that we do it, but we should be honest about it. And this is not an honest presentation of public comment when it's said in this way.
Okay. Appreciate the comment. But
You're welcome.
But the comments are normally at the beginning. They just wasn't, so I corrected that now.
No, sir. Historically, they've been at the end of the
Well,
meeting.
at the beginning now. Okay.
Now, could I ask who made that decision?
Okay. When you were on the board prior to me, and since I've been on the board, the agenda and has been always said, once the material gets to Mr. Jackson by the president, and that was one of the
It
amendments.
has always been at the last.
Well, I may have, like you said, one of the amendments that I made.
You made it.
Yes.
Thank you
As
very much.
president. As president.
Yes, I just wanted you to verify that.
Okay. All right. Next item we have, I'm looking if there is none, on the consent agenda items, we only have one, which is the minutes of the regular board meeting that was held on December 18th, 2018. I have a motion to approve. I make that motion. Second. I have a motion by Mike Radcliffe, second by Chris Thomas. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, do likewise.
Nay.
Next we have on the agenda, motion did pass. Next on the agenda, we have committee reports, and the board can take action if needed. At this time, we have our finance committee report. Mr. Matthews.
All right, the number one item is for our audit ending 6/30/2018. I believe Mr. Jackson talked to BKD.
I have been in contact a couple of times with BKD, and they've sent various requests, and we've responded to that, so I know they're well in the process of doing that.
Thank you. Okay, on the second one, on the financial statements for the month of December 2018, I've reviewed the bank statements and financial statements for December 2018. The bank statements have been reviewed, and there's one outstanding check, number 2610 for $247.50 for janitorial service at Dickerson. I reviewed the financial statements and bank statements, and I make a motion as presented to approve these statements.
We have a motion by Mr. Matthews, a second by Judge Kennedy. Any more discussion?
I'd like to express my appreciation for giving us the information on the check number that's right there. Thank you. However, in that we still we're not in an audit situation, financial report really doesn't mean a whole lot. We're not in audit. The other question I have is that how was the BKD selected to do our annual audit? I don't recall us going out for bids or talking to various groups to do that. How do you select?
We have been using them since I've
Not should have been made by the way.
When I'm through, I wasn't here when it actually done, but I feel confident it was chosen by the board. I feel confident with
My
the
feeling
previous
is
board.
that
You may not have confidence in the previous board, but I do. So I feel like they did vote on it and pick.
You're absolutely correct. I have zero confidence in the board. However, and I can document everything, the point is, that I'd like to make also is that this board did talk to any other accounting firm, just BKD. Historically, this board does not reach out to other groups to get competitive bids. I just like to register that as a complaint. Thank you.
All right,
We need to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, opposed, likewise.
Nay.
Motion carried.
then the next item is number 3, which is also coincides with number 4, the TLR collections. The report we got from them is a check for what they received for December 2018, which is an amount of $1.88. I'll bring that as a motion to accept it.
I'll second. We have a motion by Mr. Matthews to accept the payment. And a second by Michael Radcliffe. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. Motion carried. Mr. Matthews.
On number 5, the payment of BKD, we received a statement for 2018, to $950, completion of financial statement rendered through 12/31/18. I bring this as a motion to accept this.
We also have a motion by Mr. Matthews to pay the PKD in the amount
$950.
I'll, have a second? Second. I'll second by Mike Radcliffe. Any more discussion?
Yes. Let me stand up. This is a recurring deficiency award for my position. That almost $1,000, which amounts to a payment to BKD for reconciling checks on 2 accounts, the hospital foundation and the hospital district. And each of those at any given time, anywhere from 6 to 10 checks. And that's it. And they go over information that we sent them, send it back to us, and it gets copied and sent to us. And it is fully, they disqualify themselves for having any accuracy on the first page of that memo. They say the best they can do, and it does not meet standard auditing practice. They say it month after month. We are essentially paying a bookkeeper $1,000 a month for 2 accounts to show what we have. It's a bad business, I'm sure I'm on record for recognizing that, since apparently no one else did. Thank you very much.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. Motion passed. Okay. Next, we're going to have committee report. We're going to have updates on the building and grounds committee. Okay.
The RAC building, all the improvements made by air rescue have been completed. I submitted photos to Robert to file. They have moved in as of Wednesday of last week, the aircraft and the crew. And they're looking to try to have an open house for the public to come and meet them and view it sometimes in the spring. But we're going to wait and make sure the weather is pretty.
What about February number 2?
And the lease agreement, they are paying their lease as agreed. And also, they recently changed the electrical bill into their name so that it will come to them, but they don't make payments.
Did you say that the construction is completed?
It's completed.
Appreciate that. Next thing on the committee report is quality assurance. We don't have anything. Pension and personnel. Just can't.
I'm sorry, I was looking at these pictures. What item you on?
D, pension and personnel.
Everything fine, no report.
Insurance committee.
Insurance is fine.
Okay. Under strategic plan, I just want to update that, I want to thank Mr. Wayne Ward and the staff at the hospital for the tour that they gave on the 2nd and 3rd. It was very helpful. We had a good visit from the rural hospital group, and I'm also going to refer back to Mr. Ratcliffe, and he's going to give us a little bit of update because we have a little workshop that we're going to do with the rural health hospital group on, I think, the 5th.
Right.
And Mr. President, if I can, I believe at this time the hospital has provided rural health group with everything that we can provide.
Okay, because he did think that maybe I think, but I can just respond back and then you do have their.
Finished it up today, but I was allowed to send.
Okay. Go ahead.
The strategic planning committee met with on January the 2nd and 3rd with the rural hospital group, who is conducting our strategic plan for our negotiations with Christus and also third parties if necessary. They came, they flew in, there were 3 representatives that came. There was a Trent Skaggs, Daryl Morris, who's a former hospital CEO with that group for over 12 hospitals, and a Brent Lagran, who is an attorney and specializing in compliance and strategic planning. We had a walkthrough with the hospital on January the 2nd with the planning committee and this rural hospital group so they could see and visualize the hospital. We then had a meeting here on January the 2nd in the afternoon after the walkthrough, and it was the strategic planning committee and the rural hospital group. We had a productive information and informative session. Also, we met with our employed attorney, which was Kevin Reed, a hospital administrator and specialist who specialized in administrative law and hospital administration law. He met with us, flew in from Austin, I believe, and had that meeting. The rural health group who is preparing our strategic plan for the hospital district will be returning here on February the 5th and 6th. On the 5th, we're going to have a workshop with the strategic planning team and the rural hospital group, and they will give us their information, data, and our direction towards the strategic plan. They will be leaving out on February the 6th, probably after breakfast in the morning. But the purpose for their return visit here on February the 5th is to present to us a workshop concerning the strategic plan and their directions and data. So we're moving forward with it. We're making good progress with it. We're well pleased with their actions that they've taken, the quick actions they've taken to be able to get us in a position for our negotiations with Christus or any other healthcare provider. That's all I have as far as report.
Did you give a date of that first meeting?
That date was January the 2nd and 3rd is when they came. They came right after Christmas and New Year's, flew down here on January the 2nd. We're here, jumped on it right after our December meeting, which was on December the 18th, when we employed their services within 2 weeks after the holidays they're here, moving forward. So I'm pleased with the action that they're taking as far as the promptness and the attention that they're giving this. That's all I have to report, Ken.
Thank you. Next thing we have is the president's report.
Discussion on the report. Mike, I wonder if you'd share with me, with all the good things you have to say, how did the fact that this group is not quite a year out of bankruptcy, how did that impact your decision?
I'm not familiar with any of their work, and as a matter of fact, Dr. McMurray, they read your letter to the editor that you posted with KJAS, and most likely they will be calling you about that letter, which was, in their opinion, incorrect.
Well, I think I'll stand by the people in North Carolina that gave me the information on bankruptcy. I think that also, how did the fact that 2 counties have used this, the group has changed its name, but the same people were involved 2 years ago in county hospitals in 2 different counties in North Carolina, and they ended up being kicked out and sued in both of those counties. How did that impact your decision?
The board has made its decision.
So that there's no question, because I don't want it in the public arena, and I don't want it to leave the board silenced, that what Dr. McMurray has said is accurate. I would suggest that you need to go back and look at your facts one more time, because we addressed those specifically with them. And first of all, it is a different entity, and it had different controlling persons in charge of that. This is not the same. It may have some of the same former employees, but it is not the same ownership. And that's a big deal. This group has not been in bankruptcy. This group is not coming out of bankruptcy. This is an entirely different group that does not own those properties that you're referring to. That is owned by a different entity. And they told us specifically that that specific entity came out of bankruptcy and all creditors were paid 100%. Am I reciting those facts that they addressed us? I did not personally verify that, but that's what we were told. But it is a different group. They're not going to be held responsible for the other group. Just as you may have been a participant in some other ongoing entity at one time that failed as well. And if you were, you may or may not have any responsibility for the failure because you weren't involved in the management. I think that would be a fair statement. Do you think that would be fair?
Oh, I also think it would be fair to say that it is common practice when a group files bankruptcy that they reorganize and change their name.
But that's not what happened, and you can't prove it.
I would go by the opinion of the county officials I talked with in 2 different counties.
And they weren't involved in the bankruptcy. So again, I made the offer last time. You go prove that, and I'll buy you a steak. But you can't prove it because it's not the same people, it's not the same entity, and that entity that did file Chapter 11 came out of bankruptcy without any loss to the individual creditors. If that's not true, I buy you a steak.
Top sirloin would be fine, medium rare, but
either way. But if it's wrong, you're going to buy me one.
Amen. That would be fine.
All right.
One of the reasons that they paid that is that they were sued in federal court by the employees and some of their creditors, and that's how they got paid.
Prove the ownership is the same, and we'll go down that road. I don't think you can.
The ownership is different. Names.
But they are different. So let's make sure everybody understands. It's different ownership. Now it's different ownership. That's not what you said before.
Same people are involved, and there may be some new ones, but the major people are still in there.
We're gonna move forward. I'm gonna say one thing.
At least
Dr.
there's-
Mary, if you spend your time trying to do stuff for Jasper, this hospital district, rather than trying to be negative, you would be a bad asset to this board. I'm moving on.
Mr.
I'm moving
Chairman,
on. I'm moving
this
on.
board is not.
I'm moving on.
Of managing.
Okay,
the
at this
hospital.
point in time, I'm gonna talk about the Mary Dixon Hospital and appraisal. What we have on December 28th, we signed a contract with National Appraisal Partners out of Houston, Texas, to do our appraisal of Mary Dixon Hospital properties. I met with them on the 8th of January. They inspected the facility, and within 45 days, which I think somewhere around the end of February, we should be getting our data back to move forward with marketing the Jasper Hospital properties and hiring an appraisal firm, a firm to market the property for at Mary Dixon Hospital. Anybody else got any questions on that?
A question, just for the record.
Okay.
Am I correct in knowing that we still do not have a sign on the roadside that the facility is for sale or lease?
As I've said before, once we get the appraisal, the firm that we hire will have signs and stuff marking the property. So maybe that will come up again. Thank you.
And is there anything that kept us from putting a sign out?
We weren't ready to sell it, I'll tell you. We weren't ready to sell it at that time. Okay, all right.
You don't have to explain, I got the picture.
Okay, well, no, we weren't ready to sell it at the time. Okay. Next thing we have on the agenda is, I was going to speak on the OB situation at the hospital, but since I got the hospital administrator, I'm going to defer to him. He may have other things, but he want to touch on that status.
Yes, thank you, President. So yes, most of my time right now at the hospital is trying to work on the OB situation that we've got. First of all, I want to point out Dr. Gilliland and Dr. Pham, who's another community physician, is right now helping us out temporarily on a day-to-day basis to do OB coverage in our ED. So the problem we've got is we need to find coverage beyond, say, February, March. And I have reached out to our system office to help us locate some groups that can help us. I've got, and I sent to you today, Kenneth, it's a proposal. It's not a negotiated proposal yet. I think I can get the price down some more with after working with them a little bit. But it's a transition group. It's a group that comes in and fills in the gap. You know, if you look at the price of it, it's exorbitant. I mean, it's huge dollars if you look at them on a long-term basis. There's somebody that'll come in and cover you for 2, 3 months and make sure that everything is clear while you put in your long-range plan. So, long-range plan. Long-range plan is trying to find an OB hospitalist group. We have one group that our system office is helping me with. Actually, we got the data request from that group today so that they can give us a proposal on that. OB hospitalists are OB physicians that basically live in your hospital 24/7 and are there prepared to make deliveries as they need to. Also met with another group on Monday night with Dr. Toops, our VPMA. It was a group that was coming in actually pitching to St. Elizabeth for an OB hospitalist group. They take care of bigger hospitals, but I gave them our problem, our conundrum. So they're going to work on that, see if they can come up with something, a solution for us as well. Yes, Robert?
You used some initials, and I don't know what they, was something like BPN or?
Dr. Toops, our VPMA, I'm sorry, Vice President of Medical Affairs. Yes, he's for our region, I'm sorry. Thank you. So that's where we are right now. I mean, we've got some loose ends right there, but we are working on the contracts. The group that sent us the data today, data request today, I sent on to our quality and finance. They should fill in the data for us. This group is saying that they will have about a 1 to 2 week turnaround on the bid process. So that's where we're at.
And the group, this is the group that you're actually using right now, say?
No, sir. So I did speak a little fast. So let me start over just so that everybody's clear what we're doing here. First of all, we're talking to a group and negotiating a price on a group that can come in and give us gap coverage. Basically, worn out and have stretched themselves as far as they can go. This gap coverage will get us to a point where we can put in our long-range plan. Perfect long-range plan is to get physicians into this market that will stay, live, be here, set up practice here, and take care of OBs in the hospital. If you can't do that, we need to turn to a group called an OB hospitalist program. You may be familiar with a hospitalist that takes care of medical patients, inpatients, that see the patients as you go around. OB hospitalists are there. They can see patients when they come into the ED. They can get them into your OB unit, and they can take care and deliver, do C-sections, whatever they have to do, and then hand off back to the normal physician. So we're looking at two different groups there. One of them has already sent us a data request that we're filling out now. We'll have a bid back from them in 1 to 2 weeks. The other group doesn't typically do rural hospitals, so it's going to be kind of out of their wheelhouse, but they're going to brainstorm to see if they can come up with something. Is that okay?
Thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I agree with you 100%. This is not the end solution. This is a stopgap thing, and right now, I'm with you 100%. There's nothing else we can do. This is the step to take. And our long plan is to bring people in. Can you give me a ballpark figure of what you think this is going to cost for the next year?
Kids, you haven't had an opportunity to review this yet, so do you feel comfortable giving out a price at this juncture? It's a big number. Okay. It's not a negotiation.
Ballpark, you give them a ballpark, we don't win.
Ballpark's $160,000 every 30 days.
So a year's time, that's $4.
Almost $2 million.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. This group is not a group that you would look at long-term basis. You would hope that it would be a 2 to 3 month time frame. If the other group, the OB hospitalists, work out, there'll be a lot less because they'll do coverage in a different way than the stopgap. They won't have to. Their physician cost will be less than the transitional group because it's more of a long-term solution.
Short-term is
So
going to be expensive, I'm aware.
2 to 3 months. If we got into an agreement with the OB hospitals, probably 2 to 3 months before they could gather up the physicians that they would need to put in there. So that's why I'm saying the stopgap's probably a 2 to 3 month solution.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think hopefully with the other group we'll be able to negotiate down. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that at the next meeting we be prepared to sign a check for $300,000 to go toward first 6 months of this plan. And be prepared next month to write the check. And that's something that we can do very easily. That motion on the floor.
Well, with that request, could you be involved in some of the payment of that as well?
Well, see, this negotiations, this has to be done. We don't know what the price is.
But this motion is for us to be prepared to write a check up to $300,000 at the next meeting to cover a 6 month period.
We have a motion. We have a motion to the board that from Dr. Murray that we be prepared to write a $300,000 check towards the OB proposal if it's presented.
To help for the first 6 months.
If it's even presented at the time. We have a motion. Do I have a second? Not. The motion dies from the lack of discussion.
Second question I have.
Come on, Mr. Moore, you got a question.
What will the interplay with the existing docs who handle obstetrics be? Like, for example, Dr. Gilliland, or Dr. Snyder, or Stagmauer, or
Stagmauer and Snyder are not on the board.
Right.
Doing anything.
Okay, but if they were to retain their privileges, I mean, in other words, a different way to ask how do the local docs, if they're gonna do OB and they're on staff at Christus Jasper Memorial, how do they work with or interplay with either of these plans that you were talking about?
Typically, a hospitalist group, be it medical hospitalist or an OB hospitalist group, they will take care of a physician's patients if that physician wants them to. If Dr. Gilliam wanted to come in and deliver his own patients, he could come in and deliver his own patients. It's a better model if your OB hospitalist or your hospitalist group does everything. In fact, there are cases where hospitals have said for medical hospitalists, we're not going to let any other physician come in and see their patient. Everything goes into the hospital. It's a little more efficient that way. Christus has never made that stand, so it would be open to.
So you would still be able to do yours, but if you were going to be out of town, you would have somebody that could cover you. Is that
Absolutely.
That's true, and that's the way it was when we had medical hospitalists.
Right.
We didn't participate in that most of the time because we do our pediatric and we do OB anyway, and the medical hospitalists don't do that. So it really didn't take us off the hook. The real reason we're in this spot is the Medicaid reimbursement for delivering babies and taking care of OB patients is inadequate for us to make a living. So we're better off staying in the office and seeing medical patients, whoever in the office, and still not have to take off. So that's why we visit some small hospitals, and they're using UPL money to help the doctors take calls. Right now, Christus is helping us take calls for ER patients. Patients don't have a doctor.
Gotcha.
So that's why we're in this spot. But the horse is out of the barn, so we're trying to come up with some way that will work to get it back in there.
I think, really to continue on, I think Mr. Jackson had a great idea there as far as talking about how we're organized. If I can make a couple points. One, would it be feasible for you to suggest to the two people that you're talking with that they see if they can set up something with Dr. Snyder and Stagemeyer, and see if they may not work for that company?
We get to that point,
Okay.
Also,
Also,
if
the other
doctor
thing
would be
is,
interested, I'm sure.
could you get me an appointment to visit and sit down with Dr. Tubes in the next couple of weeks?
I can initiate an appointment, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Next thing we're gonna have is attorney report, Mr. Jackson.
Nothing further dealt with it today.
If that being all on the agenda coming for the board in the hospital district meeting, I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Before we do, I'm sorry, I would like to, I thought I was going to do a hospital report too, but that's fine. All I really wanted to let you guys know is that the hospital is doing well. In fact, we are sitting about $600,000 better than we were at this time last year. It's not hard to sit here and figure out that it's because of the hospital district board. We're sitting $600,000 better than we were last year, and do appreciate that. And we are seeing some lower volumes on our inpatient side because of our hospitalist program no longer being there, and our deliveries are about 20% down. So we're holding operations in pretty good shape right now. And
Mr. President, thank you.
yes, sir.
Some people think that we're not making progress,
Oh yeah.
but we are.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify for those who aren't aware, the hospital district board helped by cutting Christus the rent they paid each month in half. And I'm glad you're doing well.
Technically, that's not correct. Technically is we entered into an inpatient service agreement. And so the rent remained the same, but we return a certain amount of money every 6 months to Christus for use for inpatient care in Jasper.
It's used to offset the cost of uncompensated care, which is taking care of the indigent or those that can't.
And as a percentage of the rent, how much would that be?
50%.
My point of that, thank you.
But it's not refunded rent. Just want to be accurate. You want to be accurate, I want you to be accurate.
And I appreciate that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. The time is 7:05. We move right into the foundation meeting. 7:05, we call to order the Memorial Hospital District Foundation meeting. First item on the agenda is to approve the regular board meeting held on December 18, 2018. Do I hear a motion to approve? Motion by Mr. Rector, and a second.
Second.
Second by Reverend Horton. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All in favor?
Abstain.
Abstain. Motion passed.
Hi, how are you?
Mr. Mayor, please, finance.
Yes, sir. I've reviewed the financial statement for December 2018, and we have no check on bank statements. I bring this as a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve the financial statement. Second by Mike Ratcliffe. Any more discussion?
Yes. If you could just ditto what I said about the financial report on the hospital district before we know, I would appreciate it.
No more discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. Thank you.
No, actually, I'm a nay on that.
The next one, D,
No.
Nay.
is approve the payment to BKD. This is preparation of the review of the fiscal year ended 6/30/2018. Form 1120 U.S. corporate income tax return from Memorial Hospital Foundation, including filing the Texas franchise return for amount of $2,500. I bring it as a motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Matthews, for EKD, in the amount of $2,000. Second by Mike Ratcliffe. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise.
Not opposed. So ordered.
Motion passed. On the old business, there is none. On the new business, there is none. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Adjourned. Time is 7:08.
How old are you?